BVD is the most costly viral disease in the cattle population in the United States. Identifying animals that are persistently infected, or PI animals, is a good tool for a rancher to use to identify if he has a problem on his ranch. BVD costs the rancher from $14 to $24 per cow per year in losses associated with reproduction and health and treatment costs associated with death loss and increased morbidity on calves.
Earlier you said you test calves. Why not test cows?
That's an excellent question. When we test the calf and we identify that the calf is negative for BVD-PI, this also says that the cow is negative herself. So in essence, we get a 2-for-1 deal that identifies the cow is negative herself. A PI cow that is positive will always produce a PI calf. So if the calf is negative, the cow is negative. The first reason that a rancher tests is for the health of his herd. In 2008, Superior Livestock started a program called BVD-PI Free that sold cattle on their regular auctions. And Superior identified that in addition to health opportunities for ranchers, there was also a premium of $1.70 per hundred paid for these animals that were tested Superior PI free over animals that were not tested.
Let's do it again.
If you are interested in finding out how you can test your herd for BVD-PI animals and realize both health and marketing opportunities, contact Shelley Stober at Superior Livestock Auction.
Okay, we're going to go through that again, except I'm just going to do a close-up on you this time. So, what's a good time to PI test?
There are 3 opportunities for a rancher to PI test their calves. The first is at birth. If you're a rancher tagging your calves at birth, why not take a notch at that point and identify if you have any PI calves in your herd? If you're doing it at birth, this allows you to remove that PI calf as soon as possible to avoid any further contamination or spreading of BVD virus. The second opportunity is at branding or at marking or spring vaccination, which allows you to identify those calves prior to bull turnout in most operations. Removing that PI then keeps that calf from being contagious spreading of BVD virus to other animals in the herd. The third opportunity is taking a notch from that calf at preconditioning or weaning prior to selling that calf through Superior Livestock Auction.
When do we PI test?
There are 3 ideal times for the rancher to PI test their calves. The first opportunity is at birth. If you're a rancher and you're tagging your calves at birth, why not take a notch out of those calves at that point and identify if you have any problems? The second opportunity in the West primarily is when marking or branding occurs. At that point, take a notch out of those calves to determine if a PI. Both of these times, if you identify a PI in your herd, you can remove that PI calf prior to bull turnout, which then keeps you from having a problem year after year. The third opportunity is at preconditioning or weaning time prior to those calves leaving the ranch.
What's the cost on PI testing?
The cost of the Superior PI Free program is $2.90 per head. This includes the entire results, the tube, and also includes the shipping, which is overnight shipping to our lab in Portland, Oregon.
Again?
When a persistently infected animal or PI positive animal is identified, we recommend that this animal be removed immediately from the herd. A PI animal is shedding in excess of 10 million virus particles daily to all animals around them and is very contagious. This animal should not be marketed to other cattle operations. We think that all ranchers should identify their herds and make sure that their herds are free of persistently infected BVD PI cattle. Animal Profiling International has been BVD testing in excess of 3 years in over 38 states in the United States. What we find is that there is no particular place that it is higher incidence of PIs. What we find is that herds that are poorly vaccinated tend to have a higher incidence, but not any geographical area. We have been seeing an incidence rate of about 3 persistently infected calves in every 1,000 tested across the entire United States.
Is biosecurity important with BVD?
Biosecurity is a critical component of protecting your herd for BVD. One of the things that we recommend is that all new animals coming into your herd should be tested negative for BVD persistently infected state prior to commingling with the rest of your animals in your herd. This includes sires, bulls purchased, and any replacement heifers or cows that are purchased from unknown or outside sources that you bring into your herd. This is a good practice to do to make sure that your herd does not break with BVD. That is an extremely contagious disease and can cost anywhere from $14 to $24 per head per year in losses for your herd. One of the key components of the Superior PI Free program is the rapid turnaround of results. As ranchers, it is important that you are able to make decisions quickly. In the Superior PI Free program, results come back to you as a rancher the day after we get them.
After PI testing, how soon do you get your results?
One of the concerns that ranchers have is that if I'm testing my calves at branding, let's say, and they get turned out into big country, API working with Superior Video gets the results back to you the next business day after they're sent in. So this allows you very rapid turnaround time and results and allows for you to make key management decisions by removing any positive animals very quickly from exposing more animals on your herd.
How are BVD PI free tested calves marketed on Superior?
Superior Livestock Video has a unique program called the Superior PI Free that puts an insignia on the screen at the time of sale of these animals that are tested PI free. This identifies to buyers that these animals are unique, and that program has paid premiums of $1.70 per hundredweight for animals that were marketed under this program in 2008.
Bruce, what is a PI?
A PI stands for persistently infected. A persistently infected BVD animal is an animal that is created only in the first trimester of the pregnancy of a cow. So this is a ranch problem that starts on the ranch. This calf is then born, and every day of its life continues to shed virus to other animals around this animal. So this is a problem that starts in gestation of that cow and continues on. This PI animal then goes on to feedlots and to growing operations that shed this virus and cause continued health issues on those operations. PI animals cannot be cured. They cannot be vaccinated out of it. Once an animal is born a persistently infected animal, it is always persistently infected animals. And approximately 50% of these animals live to become breeding age animals.
What's involved with BVD testing?
BVD testing involves taking a small ear notch from the animal and submitted it to Animal Profiling International for identification of the virus within that notch. This takes place on 3 classes of animals. Number 1 is we recommend that all ranchers identify their bulls or sires to be negative for PIs. This can be done by either testing the bulls once they get on your ranch or by purchasing BVD PI negative bulls from seed stock suppliers. The second group of animals is replacement heifers. Because a cow or a heifer that produces a calf is a PI herself and raises a calf, her calf will always be a PI. So it's very important that your replacement heifers be tested negative on your herd prior to breeding those. The third group of animals is your calves, and we recommend that calves be tested prior to breeding season to identify PIs in the herd and remove them prior to those animals being exposed to the bulls. To BVD PI test, you need to take a small skin sample from the ear about the size of a pie-shaped piece out of a dime. Place that piece in a sample tube, which is a 5 ml red top tube, and place the animal number identification on the outside of that tube. That sample then is submitted to Animal Profiling International's lab in Portland, Oregon, where the analysis takes place using PCR technology. In 2008, Superior started a program with Animal Profiling International testing and marketing calves as Superior PI free. This program in 2008 revealed that calves sold PI free brought as much as $1.70 per hundredweight more than calves that were not tested negative.